Sports Focus. I am your host, John McNeil. With me is looking like a truck driver with that hat, Kevin Sibbles.
I forgot I had the hat on.
Yeah, you forgot.
Need a haircut, but
Look like a truck driver.
I feel like one.
Eastbound, right? Okay, here we go.
He didn't go to the bandit. Oh my goodness.
All right, let's get to it.
At least you ain't saying start singing convoy.
Whoa, that was a messed up movie. But anyway, NFL playoffs, divisional round. What's your thoughts on this divisional weekend as it turned out to be?
A couple of surprises, a couple of duds that we didn't expect duds on.
Yeah.
A couple of wins that we saw coming. But all in all, it was pretty good.
I think the home teams, Kansas City, New England, Rams, and the Saints, they, as you say, the cream rose to the top.
That's it.
Even though the Saints game, they had to come back from a 14-0 lead. But that's what happens when you have home field.
Yes, it does.
And the Kansas City, they sort of slapped the Colts back to, Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Snow out there, so, that was a rough game for both teams. And the Rams, which we're going to dive into, because,
dug into the Dallas defense.
Yeah, the Rams, this is why you get that home field. And it just goes to, I went deep on this. I went deep, and I looked at my team, the Cowboys. In 07 and 2016, they had home field, first game and at home, and they lose. Well, how come this is not happening to these teams? The Rams very well could have showed up and been like, I don't know. Right?
Right.
The Kansas City and the Patriots, which everybody had the Chargers, it seemed like, winning that game. But the Patriots, they stood up and they destroyed the Chargers. And I'm not going to say the cold, but they destroyed. That was pretty much the only blowout, even though they ended up winning by like 13, whatever. That was pretty much a blowout because it was like 35-7 at like halftime.
Yeah.
So, it was over. Kansas City, once again, they showed up and they did what they had to do. Mm-hmm. The Saints game, that was really tough. You notice the NFC side had single digits and the AFC side double digits. So that was what I took from it. But another thing that they show real brief. Sarah Thomas. Sarah Thomas is the first female official to do a postseason game. So 2019.
Congrats to her.
Finally, there's a female official. They say, you know what, we'll let you in. I know they did it real quick and, that was it.
Yeah, Me Too movement. They hurry up and get them all inside.
They say, okay, hurry up. So congratulations to her. I'm sure there's going to be coaches. Everything is changing.
Yep.
So the people that was around back in the 30s and the 40s and they're seeing all this change, and especially in the sport of football, they must be losing their mind. One day, there might be a female head coach.
Wouldn't put it past him. Seen it in the movie Wildcats.
There you go. Goldie Hawn, my girl.
Yeah.
So a lot of things is moving. Now, I'm going to spend most of this time talking about them boys. Woohoo! Now, the final score was 30-28, which is impressive that they only lost by 8 points. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts on the game, because I got something to say.
It was a pretty good game. Defense disappeared at times.
Hey, they pretty much disappeared the whole game.
The rushing attack was just
non-existent.
Coaching became predictable again.
Oh, coaching.
So it is what it is.
I was not disappointed at all because I said at the beginning of the season, NFC Championship game, that's it. But they didn't make it, so I'm not disappointed in my team.
My thing is always make it one better than you did the year before. They made it 2 games further than they did the year before. Last year they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They won a playoff game this year, so they 2 up.
So they now have the longest divisional round loss streak at 6. They haven't won a road playoff game since 96? No, 95? 92, the 92 season against the 49ers. That was a championship game. They did win in the wild card against the Bears in 91, the 91 season, but they have no success on the road, and it seemed like when they make it to the divisional, they fall to pieces. So let's break it down and why the Cowboys failed. Their failures in this. Let's talk about that Dallas Cowboy defense, the much lauded defense. The Seattle Seahawks had 73 yards rushing for the whole game in the wild card round. 73 yards. Seattle was the number 1 rushing defense. What happened in the first quarter? They had 100 in the first quarter of the Rams game. This defense gave it up real quick.
Reminiscent of the Minnesota game.
Oh, boy. That's why I said that defense.
Reminiscent of the Minnesota game.
That defense did not do its job. But there's other factors with that. That's why I said I went deep, Jack. I went deep. They don't got no big uglies on that defensive line.
No.
They got a little, when I say big uglies, you guys remember Warren Sapp, big, about 300-something pounds, mean look. This defense really don't intimidate nobody. They don't. I mean, I understand your defensive ends, but they're a little light. But your D tackles, they're all like 290. You need some big boys. So if you're going to keep this coach, Mr. Jones, please just get some big uglies down on that D. I like Woods. Don't get me wrong. I like Antoine Woods, and I like Malik Collins, but they need some bigger meat. Because you got to protect them linebackers because they kind of on the light side too. So and that's what the Rams did. They just said, you know what?
They're going to plow the road. They
plowed them.
They did what the Dallas offensive line did in Zeke's rookie year. They plowed the road.
And this is why I said I went deep. You look at the Cowboys' 6 losses, now 7 losses. And all those losses, the opposing team, what did they do? They ran the ball down Dallas' throat. They didn't do a lot of outside. Everything was here. And this is why I say the coaching has to change because you have to get personnel because McVay, he looked at this. He said, wait a minute. So if we drop back passing all the time, there's a good chance they're going to sack and, maybe get some turnovers. Sure bet, right up the middle. And if you guys remember that game, everything. What did Gurley get that long touchdown run?
Up the middle.
Right up the middle. Where did C.J. Anderson, who was awesome in that game, where did he get his? Right up the middle. You could see several times where they just sort of moved the Cowboys out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. So they got a lot of things to look at. Now let's get into some players and some coaches because there's some bad in this, but I got some good for you. Okay? I got some good. Mr. UConn's finest, Byron Jones. He finished the season on a real down note. He didn't record an interception this whole season. He made the Pro Bowl, second team All-Pro, I believe. But he had a horrible finish to the season and a horrible playoff.
Yeah.
His penalty, the 3rd and 14 hands to the face, that was a killer penalty. And it just, everything came full circle.
Yep.
Because this is what the Cowboys been doing all year. They get a stop. Oh, penalty. And it's a bit on defense. Look how the game started. Offsides, neutral zone infractions by the defensive line. So, and I hate to say it because I was rooting for Byron Jones. So
he'll be fine. I think he just lost his confidence down that backstretch. I think he just lost his confidence. He'll be all right.
He better be all right because you don't get to these points that much. So hopefully Byron Jones gets together. And my donkey of the whole game is Mr. Jeff Heath. You guys don't know who Jeff Heath is. I'm going to tell you who Jeff Heath is. Undrafted player. Now, I don't know if you remember this play, but I'm going to explain it to you. This is 3rd and 7. Dallas has an opportunity. If they stop the Rams, Dallas get the ball back into Dak Prescott's hands. Now, they've been running the ball. Okay, because they're making Dallas use the timeouts and they're trying to run the clock out. So here goes Mr. Goff. Goff, he played an okay game. He didn't need to pass much because you had 273 yards of rushing. So here comes Mr. Goff. Now, you got Heath. He's a secondary player, so that means he's a safety. So, but he was up near the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. What was he doing there? I have no idea. But here comes Mr. Goff. He fakes the ball to the running back, rolls out the other way. Heath, who's like here, right? He stands and still looking at the action this way while Goff is running the other way. Poor Sean Lee, Leighton Vander Esch wasn't in the game, by the way, and poor Sean Lee is trying to get off the block. He can't. And Goff gets the first down. Heath, you are the GOAT. And not in the good way, the bad way.
I'm still trying to figure out why the Wolf Hunter wasn't on the field.
They did that during this game. I have no idea why they messed up the synergy by taking Vander Esch off. And that leads me to my man, the best coach in the NFL. He got Coach of the Year in 2016, Mr. Jason Garrett, because he saw this happening. He saw it happening. Do something about it. No.
Adjustments.
That's right. We talk about adjustments all the time, and they don't do them. And you also have Scott Linehan. As of now, he has a job. I noticed that Monday Jason Garrett said that he's coming back, and Steven said, watch it. So we don't know if Mr. Linehan is still going to have a job with the Cowboys. Do you think he should still have a job with the Dallas Cowboys as offensive coordinator?
My thing is this, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again, and you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
They were there in the Romo era, and you saw what you got. You're seeing it again.
It's all over.
But yet, all the blame went on the quarterback. But now you're protecting this young guy. He doesn't know. That's not it.
It's too late.
You screwed up.
It's too late. Now let's move on to some positive. Michael Gallup, the rookie 3rd-round pick, had an awesome game and a Cowboy record for most yards in a playoff game. I got to give a big shout out to Big Dak Prescott. Despite them a lack of running game, he did what he could. I'm glad that linebacker for the Rams dropped that interception. Should have been a pick 6 maybe. Mm-hmm. But, he missed on a couple of passes, the big one to Gallup. But other than that, when they needed him, he did something. So I give Dak some credit on that. But we got to talk about championship game right quick. Rams, Saints. I'm taking the Saints in that one. And AFC Championship. Can the Patriots do it again?
No, Kansas City.
I'm taking Kansas City as well.
And real quick, you got to remember, Wade is undefeated against Garrett as a defensive coordinator.
Woo! And there it is. He can't beat the old man, even though he gave him the shaft in there. So it's looking like a Chiefs and I hope Andy Reid get that Super Bowl victory.
Finally.
Come on, Andy Reid, I'm rooting for you. Maybe, but he can get it. This is his best chance, I feel.
Yeah.
And folks, stay tuned. We're gonna have a little repeat of talk about next week about my Cowboys. I need a flush. I need to get that out of my system. And then we're going to do the Super Bowl show. So, peace.